Hi everybody, this video is the overview for week 8 for statistics in the summer of 2022. And wow, it is week 8. That's crazy to think about it, that we are in the final weeks of the course. This evening during class, obviously, there was a little bit of frustrations being expressed and some feelings of being overwhelmed. But I just want to remind you that that's normal. You're just learning this material. All of the videos from last week are still available. So if you need to rewatch them, rewatch them. And if you have questions on homework, then ask me, which is why I have this up right now, is this lovely little Padlet wall. I am happy to answer your questions. If you need questions answered, take a screenshot of the homework problem that's giving you issue and send it to me. Send it to me on the Padlet. Send it to me in an email, and I'll get back to you. Okay? So don't stress out. You're not alone. I'm happy to help you. Okay? And yeah, just don't forget that I'm here and I'm happy to answer your questions. And I can't answer them if you don't ask. All right? All right. So, one more thing is some of you are behind in the homework. My advice that I gave this evening, but this is just a reminder, is to skip where you were and start where we are now. Start with confidence intervals and get ready to go into hypothesis testing. So that's the homeworks that start with the number 8. It's like 8.1.2 and so forth. So we'll start there because that's where we are right now, and that's what is important for you to learn now. So my advice is to start there, and then as you have time, pick up those assignments that you haven't had a chance to finish yet. But definitely, as you are going through this week's assignments, and as you are catching up on maybe assignments you haven't finished, don't forget that you can email me. I'm happy to help. Okay? All right. Moving on. Weekly folders, week 8. Crazy. So this week, we had our class already. There's only one video to watch this week. It's introducing hypothesis testing. Please watch it. Please watch the video, beginning to end. Take notes. If you need to watch it twice, watch it twice, because there's only one video this week. So there's extra time to be able to do it. So watch the video. It's what we've been building to this whole time. You're going to notice some similarities with the confidence intervals from last week, so that could potentially be helpful. And it's also the next section of the project that you're doing. It has to do with this hypothesis testing. So we want to build a strong foundation there. And hypothesis testing, it has quite a few pieces. It doesn't have to be super difficult. As I told you guys in class, to do one of those hypothesis tests, that part 3 of the project, you could do it in 5 minutes. It can be fairly quick because we have technology, but you do need to understand how it's structured, what's happening, what's required, all the pieces. So you want to definitely watch the video, take good notes so that you make sure that you understand how hypothesis testing works. And then send me the questions if you have them. Have questions ready when we get to class. Because that's the way I always start class is, hey, do you have questions? And, I get a few questions here or there, but a lot of times, people say they don't have questions when you might have them, and I'm happy to answer them. So take advantage of that time. Have questions ready. So we already did the Our Guru workshop, Beans and Babies. We did that in class. I did change this quizzes game right here to optional. It's not worth any points, but it is extra practice. I'll put in this little overview that it is that is optional, so you don't get confused there. But if you want to practice confidence intervals and practice deciding which type of confidence interval, either formula or the type of confidence interval you run in Our Guru, this is a good assignment to work on. And then you're starting part 3 of the final project. And then, of course, we've got 4 homework assignments. All right, so weekly readings, we're in chapter 9. Lecture videos, there's only one. All right, and so it's hypothesis testing with one sample, and we're talking about the null and the alternate hypothesis. And as always, blank notes and already filled in notes for your convenience. Going back to the assignments, if you were not in class tonight, here is the assignment. We did Beans and Babies. I've included data for the assignment because we collected data in class. So I've included the data that you'll need for the assignment. So you want to complete that, click on the link Beans and Babies to turn that in. Here's the quizzes game. If you click here, you can play this confidence intervals game where you practice confidence interval questions, and you can play it as many times as you want to, but it is not worth a grade. And then I had discussed the final project. We're starting part 3. As of right now, after week 7, you should know how to calculate a confidence interval and write a confidence interval interpretation sentence. So what you need to do is take one of your numerical variables, and or it could actually be for this part, it could actually be a qualitative variable as well. Anyway, the point is you would take it and decide whether it would be estimating a mean or a proportion, and you would estimate that for your variable by finding a confidence interval. And you can decide what you want your confidence level to be. My advice would be 90% or above. And outside of that, you have these other steps here. These steps, writing the null and the alternate hypothesis, stating significance level and sample size, stating the type of hypothesis test you're going to use, finding what's called a p-value, rejecting or failing to reject the null hypothesis, and stating your conclusion. All of that probably sounds like something you've never heard of before. So that, all of those things will be what I'm discussing in the video this week. So make sure that you watch it, and then you can get started on this section. Also, just to remind you, in this folder here, I have, this is a playlist, and it has these are all short videos that I created. They are tutorials for different things that you can do in Our Guru that would help you with this assignment. So we've already talked about importing data sets, editing variables, but if you haven't finished with part 2, it talks about creating a histogram, bar graph, frequency distribution, scatter plots, finding your measures of center and 5-number summary. For those of you who are still working on binomial and homework, and normal distribution and central limit theorem homework, there are short tutorials there. And then a short tutorial on calculating confidence intervals for mean and then for proportions. And then I have short tutorials on hypothesis testing. So everything that you could possibly need for the project, I have a little video that kind of covers how you would do that. So these, again, they're not my normal lecture videos. They're much shorter, gives you a quick view of how you would do those certain functions. Anyway, back to this part 3. So part 3, we're starting this week. I have it due on Tuesday of next week if you want feedback. I'm hoping everybody will turn that in. So what we can do is I'm planning to give us time to work on it in class on Monday night. So you can start it Monday night if you want, and then you can finish it up by Tuesday and get it to me so I can give you feedback. And then you'll put part 2 and part 3 together, and then add an intro and a conclusion, and turn in the rough draft of your overall project by August 2nd, which is a Tuesday, and the following Tuesday. And then I will try to get everything graded to you and back to you fairly quickly so that you can make any final changes before the final due date on August 9th. And yeah, there we go. So I hope that you take advantage of turning in these sections early. I mean, first off, it's one of your assignments, so it counts as a completion assignment. So you're kind of getting a grade for just doing it. But as far as the project goes, I think it's really helpful because you can see things that you might need to correct. I also offer suggestions on things that you could add to further explore your data to potentially answer the questions that you have put forward. The point is, though, I'm giving you a chance to turn it in and have me look at it and tell you kind of what you need to do to make it something that you will hopefully get 100% on when all is said and done. So please take advantage of my offer for feedback. All right. And I think hopefully you'll really get to know your data, and doing this project, you're really getting to see how statistics is really used, more so than even in the tests that we do. All right. So other than that, you have 4 homework assignments. They are in Chapter 9. I've split Chapter 9 into 2 weeks. So you'll have Chapter 9 homework this week and Chapter 9 homework next week as well. Not the same Chapter 9 homework. There's quite a few Chapter 9 homework assignments. Anyway, if you have questions on the homework this week, please don't hesitate to ask. You can definitely ask questions on Monday night, but don't feel like you have to wait. Screenshots always work really well. That way I can see exactly what you have a question on. So definitely send those my way. All right. So hang in there. You don't have very much longer left. You can do this. Okay? Trust me. You can do this. You can get through this class. You can be successful. You can actually learn a little bit of statistics as well. So, all right. Hope to hear from you guys this week. Bye.